We've been calling it the saddest murder trial in America, the case of the clearly anguished mother who was admitted to killing her 3 children, but says she does not deserve to spend the rest of her life in prison. Lindsay Clancy claims she was in the throes of insurmountable postpartum psychosis when she strangled 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan to death with exercise bands. The murder trial today was filled with emotional outbursts like this one, bringing courtroom testimony to a standstill.
What about injuries?
All right, Counsel, let me take a break this time, all right?
That was Clancy, her head down on the table, sobbing that she can't do this. The trial has put a harsh spotlight on Clancy's medical care and the mental health professionals who treated her in the days and months leading up to the murders in January of 2023. Early in the trial, her now ex-husband testified to her deteriorating mental state after the birth of the couple's 3rd child, Callan.
When she told you that she was having intrusive thoughts, did you ask her what they were?
Yeah.
And what was her response?
She described thoughts of hurting the kids or them having some sort of ailment.
Clancy did try to get help, but her attorneys argued that provider after provider failed to intervene in any meaningful way, instead over-medicating her with more than a dozen different prescriptions. They rarely even met her in person. And the defense points out that Clancy was turned away numerous times from inpatient care, including twice by a suicide crisis hotline.
She reported she had a difficult weekend, right?
Yes.
Intrusive thoughts of wanting to die.
She met with a clinician virtually and was told that she did not meet the criteria for inpatient treatment due to not having any suicidal ideation plan.
So if she said, in addition to the fact that she's been in counseling and therapy and seeing psychiatrists and on medications for the past 3 months or whatever the period ultimately would be, and that she wanted to kill herself, didn't want to be here, couldn't care if she died, they told her because she didn't have a plan that they couldn't help her?
Correct.
Prosecutors say Clancy knew exactly what she was doing when she killed those children and that she planned the murders meticulously and with purpose. Let's bring in our panel of experts, former federal prosecutor Neama Rahmani and criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool. Neama, let's first deal with the outburst today. Twice the jury had to be sent out of court after Lindsay Clancy began sobbing during testimony about the injuries the children suffered. What effect does this have on the jury to see that kind of emotion?
Elizabeth, heartbreaking testimony today. Certainly, I think everyone watching, including the jurors, they feel sympathy for Lindsay Clancy, but I think it actually helps the prosecution here. Obviously, we're talking about her mental state at the time of the murders, but here's someone who's listening to the medical examiner talk about her daughter being strangled to death. And the fact that she can hear that testimony and react accordingly, to me, it's not someone who is not criminally responsible. It's not someone who is legally insane. She knows exactly what's going on in that courtroom.
Yeah, but she's getting medical care now. I mean, you know, she was misdiagnosed and misprescribed medication.
Elizabeth,
she's now been diagnosed with bipolar and is getting treated for that.
There's no question in my mind that the system failed her. Maybe arguably even her husband failed her, but that's not the definition here. You need to not be able to understand the nature and wrongdoing of your actions, not knowing right from wrong. That's the legal standard. It's not mentally unwell. It's not bipolar. Really, the only good testimony that came out for the defense today was after the murders, where she told the mental health practitioners that she was hearing voices. That's the type of thing, to me, that might make someone criminally irresponsible. But everything else, and I'm trying to be sensitive here, Elizabeth, it just doesn't meet the legal definition, in my opinion.
Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, hey, Elizabeth, I respectfully disagree. I think this was a catastrophic day for the prosecution. Why? You had a mental health clinician on there. You just showed footage, and she sounded like a robot. And she was asked, did she call in? Did she say she wanted to die? Did she say she's scared about her kids? Yes, yes. Did you do anything? No. Did you call Child Protective Services? Yeah. If a parent is reporting that they cannot take care of themselves, there is a mandatory duty on the part of the clinician to call Child Protective Services. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your kids. So this is a trial within a trial. What the defense is doing is they're putting the mental health practice on trial, our medical health practice on trial. Time and time again, please, I need help. I'm gonna die. I might hurt these kids. And you repeatedly have these folks saying, oh, she didn't have a plan. Oh, let's wait till she forms a plan and kills herself or kills the kids, and then we'll get her help. That is going to resonate with at least one juror, if not most of the jurors.
Yeah, Neama, I actually was very struck by the fact that she tried repeatedly to get herself checked in and was repeatedly turned away for a variety of reasons. And all these mental health experts who were meeting her, for 25-minute Zoom sessions or saying, that she actually is complaining of lack of sleep, suicidal ideation, thoughts of no longer wanting to live or be here. How much more do you have to spell out that I want to kill myself or kill somebody close to me?
Well, it's certainly enough for civil negligence, and she's filed a lawsuit against those same practitioners. But are you telling me that this woman didn't know right from wrong when there was testimony today that it took minutes to strangle each one of those children? This wasn't a snap judgment. This wasn't someone that was hearing God or the dog or the snowman she built that day tell her to do it. This is someone that had serious mental health issues, that did something horrific. She needed help. She didn't get it. I agree with you, Elizabeth. I agree with you, Ron. But if you read the jury instruction and you want to follow the law here, I don't think anyone can definitively tell me that Lindsay Clancy did not know right from wrong, did not at that time know what she was doing was wrong.
Brian,
she plotted it. She planned it.
Yeah. Brian, I was really struck by the fact that her husband testified that she said she was having thoughts of harming the children and harming herself, and didn't immediately remove the children or, get her into a hospital, get her out of the house.
Yeah, that is a point in the favor of the prosecution, right? If the husband's aware of it, he doesn't do anything.
And did nothing.
I agree with you. That is a problem for the defense. But one other point I want to make is this evidence that came in today, Elizabeth, is, in my opinion, clearly irrelevant to the case. Going into details about how children were murdered by the mom, there's a section in Massachusetts, 403, in California, it's 402. What does it mean? Even if evidence is relevant, Elizabeth, the judge has to exclude it if it has a prejudicial effect on the jury. And to have these jurors hear about intimate detail about how the kids died, that clearly is drawing the jury to rule based on sympathy. Yet the judge told him earlier, oh, when she cries, don't rule on based on sympathy.
You can't take that into account.
Right.
Interesting, perhaps grounds for an appeal later on. Wow, what a trial. We will continue to cover it. Neama, Rahmani, Brian Claypool, thank you both for your expertise. Appreciate it.